this is one of the neater areas of the office. It's not a very big office, but it's got some pretty interesting features. This safe here, which I don't know the combination to, but inside here is kind of my panic room. When people like you, David, get in here to try to bother me, I can just come on in here, and if there's ever a tornado, I'll probably find myself in here. Or but basically, we've got a bunch of records that the city holds, and that's actually probably the first time I've ever stepped foot in there. I don't spend an awful lot of time in this office. Fortunately, my regular office is just across the street, so if the city needs me, I'll come by and do what I got to do. Occasionally, I'll meet with people here. This desk actually has been here for a long time. And what's interesting about this desk, I'll show you a couple of things that I found kind of interesting. There was one time I was just waiting for a meeting. I never spent too much time looking at it. This is actually a piece out of the Cartersville plant. I don't know what plant, but this was taken on December 15th of 1975, and it's a paperweight. I don't know what company that's from, but maybe it's Atlantic Steel. I simply don't know. Looking at some of this will give you another indication. My daughter spent some time in here and did some artwork. She's a fan of cows. I don't know why, but she is. Let's see what else. We've got an elect Darrell Wilson District Attorney notepad. That gives you a little sense of how long this has been in here. My wife would not be happy that there's a letter shop notepad in here. Being the owner of McStats Printing, we've got a competing printing company, but they're out of business now, so I don't know that that's that big of a deal. We have a ruler from Ivan Allen, if that doesn't tell you how old that is. That kind of dates it. Let's see what else we've got in here. We've got a Cartersville Rotary Club letter opener. A lot of this is news to me as well. People's First National Bank. But I'll tell you some of the things that I found interesting. This, for instance, goes back to June 1990 when Alex Dent was mayor and Clarence Walker was the city manager and Helen Wilson was the clerk. And here are some copies of executed addendums for water service and wastewater agreements. I don't know why they're in here, but mayors in the past have gone through and just kind of left things behind. So sometimes it's kind of fun to dig through these things. I found here 1992. Here's an update from the Georgia Municipal Association convention issues for the 90s. And so it's kind of interesting to read back and see what some of the issues were then, and what some of the issues, how a lot of them are the same, and how some of those things were handled. So over here, I'm trying to figure out where they went. Now they did some repainting, so there's not an awful lot on the walls. This is a picture of First Presbyterian Church when it first opened. There used to be a shovel in here that Mayor Mike had for the groundbreaking of Toyo. I personally, I guess my contribution to the office is my Rotary 4-way test. I've been in Rotary for a number of years, and so I kind of keep that there to keep me grounded a little bit. And this was awarded to John Dent in 1982, the 3rd Annual Community Affairs Award for outstanding service to support of Georgia's local governments by the Board of Community Affairs. Kind of interesting there. And then there's, like I said, a number of old books and just all kinds of fascinating things in here that I dig through from time to time. And one of the things that I'm really proud of, it does have its own restroom. I don't use that very often, but I've often kind of equated the fact that you've really made it when you've got your own restroom in your own restroom in your office. I remember actually, I used to call on Nantucket Industries when I was working in the printing industry, and the plant manager there I went in to see him. They'd sent me back, and I walked in and there was an empty desk, and I didn't know what was going on, and there's the guy in his own restroom. So I was like, I didn't see him in there, but when he came out, I was like, wow, that's really cool. So now I've got an office with my own restroom and my own safe. So, but the only time I spend in here is really when folks want to come and meet, and when people want to get a little quick tour of it. And for the most part, I'm in my normal office or doing things electronically. So, but it's a great office to be in. It's a great space, and I'm enjoying the honor of serving the people of Cartersville.
name is Brittany and I work at Slopes Barbecue. I've worked here ever since I was in high school, so that would be 4 years now. I absolutely love working here. I love the people that I work with. We all treat each other like family and we're all really close. I love the customers. I love seeing new and returning faces, and I love the families that come in. And I love seeing how the children have grown and how the families have grown. And the best part is that I know what they're going to order, so I can never get that wrong. So come by and be part of the family, and I'll see you at Slopes.
All right, these questions were sent to the Cartersville UNCUT Facebook page this morning before our meeting, and so I just wanted to answer these as best as I can. Number one question, why won't they hire local citizens at the police department? Well, the premise of your question is off just a little bit because we do have local folks who are working in the police department. But I think the main reason would be that you can't just hire somebody because they're local. You have to hire people who are properly trained, and certainly if there are people that are properly trained and want to be police officers, that they've gone through the process, then we would roll them through the human resources part of it. Chief Culpepper, I think there is a lot of benefit to hiring local officers who know people, who know the community, and who know what's been here in the past. I think when you have institutional knowledge about what's going on around you, that goes a long way, especially when you're dealing with people in the public. Question 2 is, why aren't the lights in sync on Main Street, and why are there no sensors for those lights? Which is a great question. When we did the beautification project downtown, those lights are out of sync. The unfortunate thing is we've got it's a state highway, so the city of Cartersville does not control those lights. And of course, with the challenges at the DOT, they have we've told them that we need to get this fixed. But however, we are in the process now, and you'll see that some of the lights, they're not going to be sensors in the street. There are sensors above the traffic lights. So you'll have a couple of them that have been installed that where if the camera will be above the traffic light, so it'll censor that a car's there, and that's when the left turn arrow on. Right now, they're out of sync, and even if there's no cars waiting to turn left, you got to wait for that arrow to go there. Trust me, I drive the roads, and I'm as irritated with it as you are. The beautification project, why didn't they keep the light sensors? I think that was that's part of the same deal there. And why are all the trees being cut down? Well, the pear trees that were in front of the Cartersville High School, those have a finite life, and there was some fear that those types of trees fall over and it would cause damage to the fence and all that area around there. We are replanting back with some elm trees that are going to be locally purchased and get those back in, so we'll see some beautification there. And the other part of that is a lot of these older trees that are in Cartersville, especially the ones that are just across here in City Hall, they're nearing the end of their life cycle. So one of the challenges that the council is taking on is, what do we plant back? How do we plant back good quality trees that are going to be strong, drought resistant, and provide a really good tree canopy for the city for years to come? And thanks for the questions. If you want any more, you can send them to David at the Cartersville UNCUT webpage, or you can send me an email directly at cartersvillemayor@yahoo.com. I'd be glad to answer your questions. Thanks.